Trying to get revenge is both a waste of time and energy. No more revenge, and here's why. Because when you try to get revenge on someone else, that's trying to help out God, and that can't happen. God doesn't need no help. God is God all by himself, right? So you lose twice. You lose because you fell victim. That's why you want to get revenge. And then you lose twice because God is frowning on you because you're trying to do what he does. And when you do it, it's not like he does it. So it's a different intent when you do it than when God does it. Like you got anger and negative emotion behind it because you want to say, yeah, take that, get that now, and you know how I feel. God isn't about revenge or any of that. He teaches lessons. He don't tear down, he build up, even if it hurts. So that's why revenge is not yours, it's the Lord's. And let me tell you something else deep about revenge that you're not gonna like. But it's the truth. I'm just a messenger, chosen one. Here's the thing about revenge. Revenge is a weak person's attempt to blame someone else for their own poor lapse in judgment, chosen one. I'll say it again. Revenge is a weak person's attempt to blame someone else for their own lapse in judgment, chosen one. Revenge is the opposite of personal accountability. So rather than looking at someone and say, look at what you've done to me, that's the revenge part. The personal accountability part is looking in the mirror and saying, look at what I have allowed you to do. Because ultimately, everything is on you. If somebody did you dirty, you put yourself in position to be done dirty, right? So you got to be accountable for that. That's your part. Revenge, that's God's. Let me tell you something else that's teetering on the edge of revenge. Wishing and hoping bad things happen to the person. Yeah, you didn't display the act. You didn't carry it out. But you sure put those vibrations into the universe. That's almost the same thing, chosen one. Once someone does you wrong, use that time and energy, that same energy and thought process to just make sure you stay away from them. Make sure you totally deduct them out of your whole existence. Because a mistake not learned from is bound to be repeated. So if you don't do what you need to do and be accountable for the people that did you wrong, if you still, giving them your energy, giving them your time, guess what they're going to eventually do? Do you wrong again. And it's nobody's fault but yours. That's how we got in this situation the first time in which you wanted to get revenge. Because God always gives us signs. God always gives us ways out before we get to the point of no return. So if you truly are honest with yourself and think back, you'll see when God was trying to warn you about that person or about those people or about that situation. You didn't take heed. You never knew it would get to this point, but God did. No more revenge, chosen one. And never forget this, chosen one. You were born to be great.